Hello everybody, welcome back. Bit of an update then, I suppose, on XRP, the whole market as well. We'll look at Bitcoin. And just to celebrate myself, I've just realised that as of this morning, I've broken $20,000 in profit with my bots. So if you've been following my bot trading challenge, I've set myself a challenge to get to 30 grand, so $30,000 is the next target. But this is a nice flat figure to celebrate. So $20,000. I started in November, at some point in November, with 1,200. All of that you'll be able to see. I've got videos of it sort of documenting the way, so we'll make a video on that later. But like I say, I'm just gonna celebrate that milestone now. I've reached $20,000 in profit, so close to a 20x actually in what, 3 or 4 months. Not bad, not bad. Right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. So this pitchfork has shifted itself. I'm gonna have to start that again. So annoying actually with this. With this kind of setup here. I don't know why, it always shifts a tiny little piece. Right, so at the moment I would be confident in saying that Bitcoin is probably broken bullish now, and it can actually start to take a proper another set of legs up. So this isn't like the Elon Musk breakout, this is potentially the actual breakout. So what we're looking at here is we were consolidating into this pitchfork zone. We had some nasty stabs down. It started to look a little bit dodgy yesterday and the day before, below this center of the Bollinger Band, also inside the pitchfork, but now we're outside of the pitchfork. So as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin has every opportunity now to make another stab at trying to get its all-time high back and then beyond. So the areas of significance are these zones here. So first of all, this is going to be our first level of resistance, coming in around, we'll call it $38,000. So we've had tops. This obviously couldn't make it. Breakdown from here. So let's just count this out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and technically 5 times that we found it as support and resistance, mostly resistance. So 38,000 would be the area of significance for me, and then breaking above there we've got 40,000, which is, I suppose, the psychological figure that people are going to be looking at. But breaking above 40,000, then yeah, I don't see a problem with it making new all-time highs. Now we haven't looked at this. Altcoins have really actually been taking a lot of the attention away recently. I was saying on this money flow index on the weekly that I'd be confident in calling a decent reversal if we were to come down and test this trend. So this is the money flow index trend line. We've not yet made it, so there is a chance that obviously this, I'm not going to call it a failed breakout, but still a consolidation at a high level. We've not come down to test that trend line. It doesn't necessarily need to be honest with you. It doesn't need to. It was just one indicator that I was looking at, the pitchfork being one of them, money flow index being a second one. And so I suppose now we're out of the pitchfork, we do have that opportunity. If we get rejected from there, that's fine. Like I say, the money flow index would also start to take another leg down upon a rejection from 38 or to 40. That's all good and fine. But what this is showing is that money is actually coming back into Bitcoin, probably from altcoins, and I can completely understand that. So let's have a look at XRP then briefly. So obviously the fun and games was over. What are we looking to do now? Well, I would like to actually try and do some scalping on it. I was expecting for a little bit more volatility yesterday. I was all set up and ready to go on Bityard for an evening of scalping, but there was basically no price action to scalp with, nothing at all. Very, very, very low. In fact, since the calamity event, from that massive sell-off, I was expecting a range, but there has not been a range to play, and not even confident enough to try and short it either. So for the moment, it's basically going back down to where we kind of expected it to, which would inevitably bring us down to the 200 exponential, roughly thereabouts. I'm not saying that we're going to come straight down there. We could quite easily perform a bounce. I mean, if we look at where we are price action wise at the moment, we're holding above ever so slightly this area here of 37 cents. So there is still, I wouldn't call it strength, but unfortunately it's probably more along the lines of people holding onto their tokens after buying it literally at this level. This is very, very unfortunate. But in my opinion, for the people who might have done that and maybe holding onto these tokens, I mean, you'll have to watch my market cycle video. I'll leave a link above my head somewhere, and or just search for it on my channel. Before all of these moves, I did say that XRP is going to end the year with a big move, and that's how it's very likely to end, in my opinion. Now, these sort of pump and dump mechanisms, these pump and dump schemes, don't end well. They're not sustainable. They're just not. And the people who get in early are the people who profit by taking the people who get in late's money. That's how it kind of works. It's a real Ponzi, basically. That's a real Ponzi. I'm not saying that crypto is a Ponzi. All financial markets could be viewed upon as a Ponzi. Someone has to get in early, someone has to get in late, and the people who get in late, if they're the last ones through the door, that basically they end up having to hold the bag while the profits, I suppose, are taken by the people who come in early. This has always been the deal with cryptocurrency. That's why you see such massive bubble bursts, 2013, 2017, and likely the end of this year into next year. Quite likely that will happen again. So it's about getting in early and getting out before it's too late. So something like this is basically just emphasising a bubble within a bubble, really. Anyway, it doesn't mean that this is the end for XRP, not at all. XRP has basically got a long market cycle that it still has another 8 months or so to complete that, 8 to 10 months to complete that, and it will complete it with higher highs than these. So in my opinion, there's nothing to worry about in the long term. It's just unfortunate for those people who did get caught out in that. But I think everything will end up being okay, but it's going to require a lot of patience. As far as the other altcoin market's concerned, when we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart here, we're still pretty low. Still looking at a bearish chart, really. We could quite easily bounce from here. My expectation is that we will dance from this to here, this to here. So we've got a range of what looks like maybe about 2 or 3. Oh no, it's more than that. It's about 7%. So that's actually quite significant. A move up from here for Bitcoin is going to be significant valuation for Bitcoin. A move down for here is going to be extremely good for altcoins. So actually that range is still very good. I was hoping that we would break down from here. This wick isn't relevant. This I don't know what that is. Sometimes Bitcoin dominance has this weird reads. They don't really count for anything. That's not real. If we did break down from this zone here, this is a multi-year trend line of support. So boing, 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 and then hopefully, not hopefully, I'm hoping that we'll break down from there. Altcoins will go absolutely bananas. They will go bonkers. That's what we're hoping for. But for the moment, we don't play on hope, we play on trend, and at the moment the trend is within here. And if it carries on within here, it's gonna form some form of wedge formation within itself, within this moving average here, and we will get tighter and tighter and tighter until it breaks one way or another. Now my expectations are, because this is a multi-year support, that it will break to the up, and Bitcoin will actually start to become king again. But these are expectations; they're not confirmations. I trade on confirmation. At the moment, there's nothing confirmed. So yeah, I can't go making any bold predictions based on what I expect to happen. I have to make predictions on what I see is happening and what's confirmed to likely take place. So anyway, just a recap of everything that I've gone through. So bots trading going very well. I'm very happy with that. $20,000, almost a 20x, about an 18x, isn't it? In 3 months. XRP has every opportunity to actually bounce from here and make it up to perhaps about 45 cents. Perhaps, but if it fails that bounce, it will eventually come back down to more or less where it started. Up and just above and below the 200 exponential. That's its destination for the moment, and we should leave it to do that. We shouldn't do any more of these silly pumps. That's not how we're going to make this coin grow. It's not going to work like that. It's going to work by fulfilling its market cycle. Look, in the first market cycle, it did a parabolic high. All right, it went down in value because it went up so much in such a small space of time. It went down in value for a period of 3 years. All right, does that sound in any way, I suppose, does that resemble what's happened here? Yeah, it does. It's exactly the same. In fact, it's exactly the same. Then in the 4th year, where the consolidation had effectively was over, there was some little bubbles, some ripples, if you pardon the pun, and then there was a fake out in that first market cycle and a retracement of around about 70%, just like this one. All right. Everything is fine, all right? Forget about SEC, forget about this, forget about that. The market cycle is pretty much repeating its original formation, almost exactly. So we need to allow that market cycle to mature, because that's how it's going to work out. The more of these sort of silly things that take place like this, as fun as they are, it basically disrupts the chart, which disrupts the cycle. It does more harm than good. All right, it does more harm than good. So just look at it from that perspective. Please refrain from joining any of these pump schemes, because, like I say, they are the ultimate Ponzi. It's a bubble within a bubble. You will likely make some money here and there, but eventually you'll get caught out and it's not going to be good. The only people who win are the people who begin these pump and dump schemes. The people who get in at the beginning, the people who decide this is what we're going to do, they're the ones who win. The ones who lose are the people who are through the door later and later and later. So just don't get involved with it, alright? And also what it actually does as well is it invites a lot of people to short this. So there's probably more people shorting this from a much better position than there was last week, which has basically added insult to injury. I appreciate the pump and dump idea, alright? It's virtuous, I get that, you know. There has been some weird dodgy stuff going on with XRP price action and this lawsuit. It's all a little bit weird, a little bit dodgy, but really what you've done here effectively is hurt retail investors and created extremely strong short positions for other people who aren't quite as virtuous as yourself. So just bear all of that in mind, right? Next time anyone wants to get into any of these pump and dump schemes, just remember that not everybody is as morally accurate as the people who claim to be. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the people who started this group and started this pump, that they were doing it because they believed that it was going to help everybody and help the token and help everybody that got involved. But really what it's done actually is probably hurt a lot more people than it's benefited, and I'd probably argue that it's benefited the people who have the lowest morals possible, as there has been many shorts take place around this area, many shorts, and in order to liquidate these shorts you're going to need more than a pump and dump scheme, I can tell you that. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, but thank you for watching, and live stream Wednesdays and Fridays for the Patreon users, only £7.50 a month, so I'd like to see you there, that'd be great. But if you don't fancy that, I do have a Telegram chat, but I'm not quite as prevalent on there, but you know, it's about 1,000 people in there now at the moment, all chatting in a way, so it is quite a good laugh. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you have a nice day, take it easy.